Now finally, the goal of scorched earth litigation is to cause the other party to have a belief that the system will not help them out. That no matter what happens, the judge will not vindicate the party that plays by the rules. That hope, that belief must be destroyed. Why do we see scorched earth litigation used all across the country, not just Shelby County? Two reasons. One, it works more often than it fails. Second, it's easy. The easiest thing a lawyer can do in a negotiation is just say no. How many times do we have to tell our parents, who are either clients or patients, if a request for additional visitation is denied, you need to turn around and offer when they could see the children? This simple concept gets sucked out of parents' heads once they're in litigation. Some magic reason button. If you say no, what can you do as a response, gets taken out of their heads. That's the goal of scorched earth litigation, to get the other side off their center and make mistakes. Now, how do you defend against scorched earth or high conflict divorce tactics? I maintain a list. If you have any additional ideas, share them with me. First of all, my first goal in working with a client to defend against high conflict tactics is to minimize the emotional swings through counseling or coaching, nutrition, exercise, and education about the process. That's so important. My client has to be as comfortable with the process as they can. That means we eliminate surprises, eat right, get the exercise, do the things that we have to do on a day-to-day basis to survive. Keep my clients powder dry, ready for the key battles. That's the first thing. Second, same song, different verse, avoid destructive behavior. It's very, very important. Acceptance of the situation is also very important. Fourth, whether it's me or somebody else, the client or the patient going through the divorce has to have a lawyer comfortable with conflict. The lawyer must be comfortable with the high conflict, scorched earth litigation tactic. If not, they're going to get rolled over. And there are plenty of lawyers out there handling divorces that are not comfortable with the high conflict situation. Period. We all know them. We've all heard the war stories. It's very, very important. The client has to learn about the divorce process, know what's coming around the corner, know what the key bridges are that you have to cross no matter what. You got to work hard. You got to work on your divorce every day, which is painful. I always tell my clients, let's get an hour in a day. Work with me. We don't want to be behind on our working through the divorce process, whether it be reading material. Dr. Bernay over in Nashville wrote a great book about parents going through the divorce process and where the mental health profession and the divorce process intersect. I think it's Children of Divorce, I believe is the name of it. Fabulous. I give that to all my clients. I buy them in bulk from him. 7, again, very, very helpful through the divorce coaching process is to help avoid overreaction. There are so many battles in a divorce, but so few of them really matter. How many times have you had that run into? Well, why are you worried about that? Oh, well, it's going to give the other side momentum, if they could even verbalize it. It's going to give the other side momentum to win this issue. No, it's not. All it's going to do is generate paperwork. Again, the theme, keeping the powder dry for the important battles. And so working through the high conflict environment is very, very important, because the key point, there's really three key points in a high conflict divorce. First, filing. What are we going to do during the divorce? Who's going to stay? Who's going to sleep where? Where are the children going to sleep? What's the initial custody arrangement? Working out those details. 9 times out of 10, the parties just fall into it without much legal help. But exactly what those details are matter tremendously, because it sets up the status quo. And if the status quo starts working and the parties are able to parent their children with this particular status quo situation, well, guess what the judge wants to protect? What's working. Very, very important. So if you've got a friend, cousin, brother, sister about to go through a divorce, one of the key points, one of the first bridges that you're going to face is that divorce filing process. Be ready, make smart decisions. Second is the settlement negotiations. Really, what happens in between isn't so terribly important, but your settlement negotiations are set up really from the very beginning, of course. And so be ready for that and be strong. I can't tell you how many times I've represented the weaker party in a divorce, and that we get to a mediation, we get a settlement offer, and they take it because the process is more painful than the terrible offer that they're facing. Well, why do they do that? Real simple. Fear, guilt, anger, depression. They didn't keep their powder dry. They weren't ready for the key point where they got to stand up for themselves and say, no more abuse, here's my counteroffer. Finally, trial. In 2006, very few cases are headed to trial. We've got new things such as psychologists being appointed essentially to be arbitrators and being called arbitrators. It's a trend I thought we'd see a lot more by 2006. So I wouldn't be surprised if we really start seeing that take off in the next 5 years. The courts are trying to do anything they can to avoid the carnage of trial, the carnage to what it does to the available cash in the estate, the carnage it does to the children. It's amazing. So during those three key points, if my client can be strong emotionally, hopefully physically, maybe losing some weight, staying off the booze, avoiding the destructive behavior, whether it be smoking things that they shouldn't be smoking, staying out of bars that they shouldn't be in, that's most important. Staying disciplined and focused on the task is the key. And what a better way than to go see a mental health professional who has the techniques, the training, the experience, and the overall ability to help a client stay focused, stay strong, and avoid those mistakes. That's why I believe the future of many of the high conflict divorces in the future, you're going to see the divorce bar almost demanding that their clients have an existing relationship with a very talented mental health professional. Because if you've got these kind of resources going into a high conflict divorce, the emotional state is that important. Thank you.